Hi wrestling fans, thanks for clicking today's Reddit D-Rose report. I want to apologize for not being on there the last few days, but we had a flood down here in the office from all the rain that went through the middle part of the states. Whew. If it sounds like I'm in a train station, that's because all the dehumidifiers and fans running, so hope you can hear me. I'll try and talk loud, which is nothing new. Alright, got a lot to make up here. CM Punk and Lita, they were in attendance at the other night's UFC Fox show from the HP Pavilion in San Jose. The Rock retweeted an update on his current injury and noted that he will go in for surgery next week. I didn't think he was going to be able to rehab from that. But anyway, he said, saw my doctor who had pushed my intestines back through the tear in my abdomen. Kind of romantic, he says. Surgery next week, bring it on. But can you imagine getting your intestines pushed back through your... Oh, boy, you're at... Oh. And rehab? Anyway, the other day was legend Ed Leslie. He turned 56 years old. Who's that? Brutus, the Barber Beefcakes, which never had a license in his life to cut hair. And also Jay Lethal, he turned 28. Orlando Jordan turned 39. Axel Rotten turned 42. CM Punk actually has 4 different injuries in his knee at one time. Punk has a lot of pain in his lower leg, but not in the knee itself. Despite a number of injuries, though, he sustained an ACL and torn ligaments. That's all. Before the leg injury, though, Punk had already was planning on taking time off after WrestleMania 29 because he was mentally burnt out. Doctors advised him to stay out of the ring for at least 6 weeks. And they've told me to stay out of the ring forever. He will not be at this Monday's Raw from England, and how soon WWE is going to ask him to return depends on how the ratings are over the next few weeks. If they need him to put asses in seats, they'll call him back soon. I'm trying to go through this quick because I got a lot to make up. Punk, he attended, like I said, the other last weekend's UFC. And he's also going to be attending the April 27th 159 UFC pay-per-view from New Jersey with his friend Sonnet. He's taking on John Jones. On a related note, MMA veteran Mark Coleman, he's upset with Punk last night, the other night at the UFC event because UFC producers decided to show Punk on TV instead of Coleman. Coleman became furious at one point and wanted to attack Punk and start a fight with him, but nothing came out of the situation. On Coleman's side was serious enough that several people at the event were able to talk him out of it, talk him down. Mick Foley says he's done with wrestling, and if he had one last match, it would be against Punk's promos. He said, Foley replied during a fan Q&A on Twitter, he said, if I could have done one last match, he said, it would have been with CM Punk following those 2012 promos. But I'm done, brother. Sheamus missed WWE's most recent stop in Dublin, of all things, on the current UK tour around there, but it's being advertised for a November 7th event, though. He says, sorry, Dublin. Sorry I didn't get to come home this trip, but it looks like I will be on the next one. NJ.com reports that local wrestlers who were involved in the stage construction of WrestleMania 29 and Access earned around $1.4 million in gross salaries and benefits. 450 people from as far away Cleveland, I guess, came to MetLife Stadium and the Izod Center during WrestleMania weekend. Next week's episode of Saturday Morning Slam is going to be, well, Saturday morning done went by, didn't it? Well, wait a minute. Maybe it's the next weekend. Anyway, Epco, Primo, Rosa Mendez versus Hornswoggle, Kali, and Natalia. The Rock told media in Europe that he's going to be filming Hercules for about 18 weeks in the middle of May through October. Rock noted that he's spending 12 to 14 weeks working with a dialect coach for the role. And if The Rock were to work a match this year, it would be WWE SummerSlam. And he said he has very little time to promote the match on WWE TV. So I kind of think he's not going to be doing anything, especially with surgery. All right, I got a kind of, this is the original thing I've got on Superstar Billy Graham, and I got an update on that. Scott Epstein, he's a representative for him, provided the following update on Graham's health. Said, everyone please pray big time, as his lab results from earlier came in. He is malnourished, thus they are putting him on a PICC line in his arm so he can be given IV nutrients 24/7. Doctors are having difficulty stabilizing his blood sugar. He keeps dropping so low, according to his wife, that he's very, very weak. He has also an obstruction of some sort in the bowel or colon area, and they're trying to clear it. If it doesn't clear up soon, this day, this is day 8, I guess, in Wyoming hospital. They're talking about surgery, which could be their last resort. Surgery would mean losing part or most of his colon. Side effects from anesthetics, especially when your immune system is so weak, and bleeding out, as his 10-year-old liver transplant is in the cirrhosis stage. Something that is, I guess, very normal for a liver that old. It's a transplant, no matter how well you watch it yourself. So, not good there. Hope we got some good updates on this. Anyway, WWE has announced that John Cena is going to be defending his title against Ryback at Extreme Rules, which we kind of suspected that, but now we know. And the only other match announced for the event is Ziggler defending his title against in a triple threat against Swagger and Del Rio. And you might want to make a note of this. There's some dates and locations of the first 3 WWE pay-per-views of 2014. January 26th, Royal Rumble, Pittsburgh. February 23rd, Elimination Chamber is going to be in Minneapolis, Minnesota. April 6th, WrestleMania 30 is going to be in New Orleans, Louisiana. And Hall of Famer Mick Foley was asked by a fan on Twitter who he thought should be inducted next year. He said, good question. He thinks Fabulous Freebirds, Randy Savage, Paul Bear, and maybe Braden Walker too. Cat was cool. Remember who Braden Walker was? Some people do. As announced at the WWE press release for the Total Diva series debuting on summer on the E! Network, will be also 2 new divas featured on the series. So it's called Total Divas. Don't say, it just says summer. Don't say what time. Anyway, Eva Marie will be known as Eva Marie, and was a 2012 Power Tech Fashion Model winner. I like to look at that. Joanna Lexi Offerman will be known as JoJo Offerman. She's a Dominican singer-dancer. The new divas, they were found at the WWE Diva casting search, I guess, that they did at WrestleMania week. They filmed some scenes for that. Also confirmed reports that Brock Lesnar is planning to open an outfitting business in Alberta, Canada, and is working on acquiring land where the Milk River region is, and new business could guide people into the wilderness to hunt, fish, and camp. Paul Lesenby, MMA fighter, stuntman, friend of Steve Austin, noted on Live Audio Wrestling the other night that the Rattlesnake is in great shape and would entertain an offer to do one more match. The Live Audio Wrestling posted on her Twitter said, according to Lesenby, Steve Austin is in better shape than most think. Last time we spoke to him, he would entertain Robert Wright. That's what they tweeted. WWE is asking fans to tweet their questions about Christmas and WWE Studios' Christmas bounty for The Miz with the hashtag #AskMiz. He will answer questions on an upcoming episode of WWE Inbox. This is unconfirmed, but WrestleZone reports that WWE diva Rosa Mendez, believe it or not, she was sent home from the WWE Current Tour in Europe. Why? The story says Rosa was apparently drunk for most of the trip so far, and WWE decided to send her home. Keep you updated on any of that. Tonight's Raw is, of course, already been taped this afternoon from the O2 Center in London. Remember, like I said, it's earlier. I don't know too much of, well, we don't know too much right now of the spoilers, but confirmed for tonight's show is the return of The Undertaker as he teams up with Kane and Bryan to take on The Shield. Also confirmed for tonight's show is Chris Jericho. Also, Triple H live to respond to Brock Lesnar's challenge for Extreme Rules. WWE's focus points or bullet points are: will the game accept? Can Taker help stop The Shield? What's next for Punk? Who will make the next move in the world title hunt? And who will WWE Champion John Cena respond, and how he's going to respond to Ryback? Former WWE Champion The Rock recently spoke with Hot 97 Peter Rosenberg about Wrestle 29 and his future with WWE. The Rock was asked, catch this, if WrestleMania 29 may be his last match. He says possibly. To be honest with you, he said the goal 3 years ago was I sit down with Vince McMahon, strategize about it, about 3 WrestleManias back to back. I committed myself to the company, very proud of that, that moment. And didn't matter if I lost or did a job, but it was just an honor to do, the honors. There's no, better way to give back, and then by just doing your honors. So The Rock confirmed that there were plans built around WrestleMania 30 match with Brock Lesnar, but he talked to Vince and Triple H after the night of WrestleMania about his injury, and he'd agreed that he wouldn't be on Raw the next night. And WWE star Ezekiel Jackson, 35 years old, NAOMI may have injured her left knee at the Diva Tag match in Paris, France, last night. She reportedly landed bad, executed a move on one of the Bella twins. So that gets you. Don't be kicking twins. You'll get hurt. We'll get out of this noisy place. Hopefully it won't be as noisy tomorrow. It'll be a little more dried out down here. But thanks for clicking, you guys. I gotta go to work.